Why do some people stay calm even when life is full of problems? And why do others lose hope even with fewer struggles? This is a simple story that reveals a powerful secret about hope. Once upon a time, in a quiet little town, there lived a young girl named Jane. Jane was 20 years old, gentle, and filled with countless dreams. She dreamed of success, happiness, and a life full of meaning. In her heart, she believed that one day all her efforts would blossom into something beautiful. Every day, she walked through the peaceful town park, imagining a bright future waiting for her. But life, as it often does, had other plans. As Jane moved forward in her journey, unexpected problems began to appear. One obstacle came after another. Small struggles slowly turned into bigger challenges. With each passing day, her energy faded just a little more. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The dreams that once sparkled brightly in Jane's big brown eyes slowly began to dim. She started doubting herself. She questioned her strength. She lost the motivation to move forward. The weight of her struggles made her feel deeply alone, as if the world had become heavier with every step she took. One quiet afternoon, Jane sat silently on a park bench, lost in her thoughts. Her eyes stared at the ground, her mind filled with worries she could not control. That was when she noticed someone. A young boy named Mike was sitting on the same bench, not far from her. He looked ordinary at first glance, simple black shirt, calm posture, and a gentle smile. But there was something unusual about him. Despite the hardships visible in his tired eyes, Mike looked peaceful, calm, strong. It was as if he carried a quiet strength within him, something Jane could not understand. Curious and confused, Jane observed him for a while. Finally, she gathered the courage to speak. She looked at Mike and softly asked, "You seem to have more problems than I do. Yet, you look so peaceful and calm. How is that possible?" Mike turned toward her and smiled warmly. Not a proud smile, not a forced smile, but a smile filled with quiet understanding. He spoke gently. "Well, tell me, what should I do? Should I keep worrying about things that are not in my hands?" Jane remained silent. Mike continued, his voice calm like the soft wind in the park. "Worrying will not solve my problems. It will only steal my peace." He paused for a moment before speaking again. "I have learned that there are two kinds of things in life. The ones I can control and the ones I cannot." Jane slowly lifted her head, listening carefully. "For the things I can control," Mike said, "I plan, I work, and I give my best effort. And for the things that are beyond my control, I leave them to God, because worrying about them will never change the outcome." His words were simple, yet deeply powerful. Instead of fear, his mind was filled with action. Instead of anxiety, his heart was filled with faith. He then asked softly, "Isn't that what living truly means? To do our part with sincerity and accept the rest with faith?" Jane stood quietly, absorbing every word he spoke. In that moment, she realized something important. Mike was not free from problems. He was simply not controlled by them. While Jane had been trapped in worry and fear, Mike had chosen courage, acceptance, and peace. Slowly, something awakened within her heart. The heaviness she once carried began to lift. Her thoughts became lighter. Her breath became calmer. She finally understood that life would always have challenges, but how we face them makes all the difference. As the golden sunlight filled the park, Jane looked ahead with new eyes. Not eyes full of fear, but eyes filled with quiet strength. And she realized that the strength Mike carried was silent, invisible, yet extraordinary. It did not come from having fewer problems. It came from believing in something greater than them. That strength had a name. It was called hope. Hope is the quiet strength that keeps us moving even when life feels heavy. It does not mean life is free from problems, but it gives us the courage to face them. Hope is the light that stays alive inside us when everything around seems dark. It reminds us that today's struggles are not the end of our story. With hope in the heart, even the hardest paths begin to feel possible. Because hope is not about waiting for things to change. It is about believing that better days are still ahead.